Hey everybody, it's your old pal Chuck, and I'm back with another review. And today we're taking a look at from Transformers Studio Series line. This is number 88, Sideways, and this is the version of Sideways from Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. Now, if I remember correctly, Sideways was like an Audi or something, and either Audi did not want it was like it was okay for their car to appear in the movie, but it could not be a toy, or they were unhappy with how the car was presented in the movie. Because let's be honest, I don't even think you ever saw a robot mode. You just saw Sideswipe split it in half. Um, and they had an issue with the toy after. But regardless, this is not a licensed automobile, so there are some. This is not going to be an exact representation to how that vehicle appeared in the film. Um, also, this is a problem that sometimes happens with studio series, that a lot of times, by the time they get around to making the figure, the car is no longer being made, and the auto companies don't really want to promote an automobile that they're not making. So, things like that happen. But here we are. We're starting in vehicle mode, and yeah, just realized that's maybe not. Here it is. Very nice vehicle mode. You might notice some gapping around here. That's actually part of the design. Everything is pegged in as best as I can. You would be surprised and think that this would be a little fiddly because of all the panels, but maybe it's just me, but it actually wasn't that bad. The only thing that's egregious and sticks out is the tri-barrel blaster in the back here that just pegs into a couple slots there on the exhaust. And that's that. Interesting. There's a little port there too, but I didn't see any place to, use that. But putting it off to the side, very nice car. It does roll quite nicely. You have pinned wheels in the back, mushroom pegged wheels in the front. I think that's because this section here folds up as part of the wrist and hand, and this is the shoulder, so I wonder if that makes a difference. But really am impressed, because usually with these cars they don't roll that well, and this is rolling quite well. So we'll pause and we'll get into the transformation. Okay, a few things to note. We're going from car to robot. The instructions take you from robot to car. The way Sideways comes packaged, there are a few things that are, it comes a little mistransformed that you can kind of miss in the instructions, that they don't point out that well. So I will point them out as we go along. Now, to start the transformation, I think the easiest thing to do is come to the back here and just pop it up. And go ahead and just pop this whole section up. And you're going to do that to be able to stick your finger in and pop up these little side fins, which, if you remember, a little iconic to Sideways. Then bring this whole section down, and next what we'll do is rotate, actually fold these panels out. Now, there's a hinge here, and there's a ratchet joint there. I think you want to actually have it completely flat out for robot mode. I think in the packaging it comes a little more compact. So we'll do that. Then in doing so, you might untap these feet, and this is where we come to discover that Sideways is either a master yogi or he's just got his head up his butt. But yeah, you basically have the legs folded up and around the torso and hips. It's actually kind of cool. They do peg together in two positions, here at the feet, as you saw, and then there's a slot on the inner part of the knee that tabs into a part around his neck. So just swivel that all the way down and around and fold the foot out, just like so. You know what? I'm going to want to adjust the camera ever so slightly, because with these cars, I'm sure as you guys all know, they tend to get a little tall before they get a little short. So now what we're going to do is fold this section forward. And what you want to then do is, this can be a little tricky, but this back section, you want to fold inward like so. You don't fold this up yet. Give yourself a little extra gripping area, but then this will be able to bring everything down. Move that arm out of the way. You'll see that this whole section will collapse into the chest to form the back. Bring that down. There's a tab that will go into a slot in the panel around the head. It pegs in. You can then, of course, bring this panel down and then flip this whole back section, collapse it up just like that. Now, this is one of the things not shown in the instructions. There are these little panels here. Bring the arms down. Just get it out of the way. They do pop up slightly, give it a little flare. And then in this front part, this definitely comes, well, at least on mine, came flat. But fold forward the grill there as like a little bit of a, again, a little bit of a decoration and deco. For the wrist here, what you want to do is fold it in and then back and out. And basically the hand will fit in, the wheel will fit into that groove there. Do that again here, just like that. And then finally, again, this comes folded down in the packaging. I almost missed it. This is shown in the instructions. Flare out those arm bits. And there you have Sideways in its robot mode. Now, before we get any further, let me just make your life a little easier. Digigrade the legs a little. It'll help support him. I think that's how it's meant to actually display, because frankly, it really doesn't stand much. It doesn't stand well at all if it's not like that. Now, here's his weapon. With this peg facing towards the inside, towards the figure, I'm going to open up that hand, slide it on just like so, and this is kind of cool. There's a groove in the thumb that's going to come around and snap into a peg on the weapon, and it basically looks like now that the weapon is coming out of the arm. So there you go. There you go. Head is on a ball joint. You have like universal hips, 90-degree bended knees, but again, digigraded legs. The ankles are just this side of being floppy that you can't work with them, but it actually, they hold. But there's unfortunately no ankle pivot, and as you can see, the arms are a little, the gorilla-like, meaning they're a little bit longer than they should be, but that's the nature of the designs from the movie, and there's that. So, like I said, the transformation isn't that bad. You would expect it to be a little fiddlier than it is, but it's not. So let's pause, and we'll come back with my final thoughts. I'd figure I'd bring out the backdrop just for a little photographic experience. It's basically that city scene, which is kind of funny because, again, I don't think we ever saw Sideways in robot mode in the film. It's just, you know, it was just, you know, him as the car and then getting cut in half by Sideswipe. But this is a fun figure, and it's nice they're getting around to doing these more obscure characters, the ones that, frankly, didn't have a lot of screen time. And I appreciate that. So, I'm not going to... I mean, as you guys all know, the movie designs really aren't my favorite. They're a little more organic than techno, I think. But this one does it well. There is some transformation to it. You know, parts of the car become parts of the robot. And how can I, like, not enjoy a figure that basically can put its legs behind its head? Unlike the vast majority of people that are going to be buying this figure. There, I said it. Ha. I actually got this figure from Nerdzoic. Excuse me. Nerdzoic! Yes, Big Nerdy himself. And if you don't follow them on YouTube, do so. He does some very informative YouTube reviews about collecting, the value of figures. And my favorite series is he does, like for Star Wars, Marvel Legends, McFarlane, figures that are cheap now that he thinks are going to shoot up in value. For example, he called that when Kang the Conqueror was released, several of not several, but about a few years ago in a line, he said, get that figure because chances are it's going to be used as a main villain in an upcoming Marvel Cinematic Universe. And sure enough, it is. So there's that. So definitely a cool guy. The figure came packaged really well. As far as I know, Nerdzoic is right now the only retailer that has Sideways. So I canceled my Amazon order. I know that it's supposed to be a wave mate, I think, of Studio Series 86 RC. So I don't know what's going on is like stores will get full cases of just one figure, and gone are the days of like a complete wave shipping at once. So there is that. So if you don't want to wait, he does sell it at retail price, maybe a little more, but the shipping is reasonable, the packaging is well done, and it ships fast. So that's really important. So definitely, if you're going to pick it up, head to Nerdzoic, but something tells me this will be on shelves sooner than later. That's about it for the review. This is your old pal Chuck for Sideways. We will see you next time.